Set for release on the 30th of July by developer Philippe F. Thomas and publisher Neon Bedlam, Into a Dream is a non-violent, unique adventure title. Thanks to the publisher for the review code.
Hello, John. My name is Dr. James Richards, and this is Dr. Kalame.
The story of Into a Dream revolves around your character John and a man named Luke Williams. Doctors created a procedure where they are able to link your mind to the dreams of Luke. Luke has been diagnosed with severe depression, and it's up to you and this new medical procedure to infiltrate his subconscious mind and resolve his issues. During the operation, you're unable to access your own memories, so you have no idea who you are, and you will not remember the procedure after it's over.
One day I came back for some inspiration and I found that the lights were off. It made me feel uneasy, and I couldn't stop thinking what it'd be like if all of a sudden one lighthouse keeper turned his light on and had no response.
From here, you go through several twists and turns through the mind of this deeply depressed individual. You learn about his life, his ambitions, his plans, his family, and his dark secrets which threaten to destroy all he has built for himself, his close friends, and family.
He shuts himself off. He works until late every day. He doesn't care for me, and worst of it all, he doesn't care for Annie.
It's a very interesting and unique take on not only a video game, but medical breakthroughs and a depression. This story, based on how it's played out, feels very personal. It felt like the messages here were more important to the developer than all else. I got this feeling based on the approach to the overall storytelling and gameplay mechanics. It felt like, yes, there was care and concern for Into a Dream as a game, as an interactive experience, but it also felt like the message was paramount above all else.
Thank you. And yeah, it is.
The audio for Into a Dream plays a very important part in this narrative-driven experience. The soundtrack was fitting, if not a bit repetitive at times. It helped lay the foundation for this potentially immersive story.
You can't lose your family, Luke. They love you.
Rita and Anne left a few years ago.
The voice acting, which was apparently done by the devs, friends, and family members, was appreciated. I say appreciated because while the voice acting was subpar B-movie styled, I much prefer this over what I've grown accustomed to in indie games of late, text instead of vocals. I much prefer this over bodies and bodies of never-ending text or gibberish.
What's happening here? What are you talking about? Wait, what in God's name is going on? Whoa!
And while the questionable voice acting at times, many times really, broke the immersion for me, it also at the same time helped keep it together, as if this was only text, a game where the vast majority is dialogue and monologues. Text would have taken me out of the experience a whole lot more than mediocre voice acting ever could.
There will be plenty of people who'd love to call you their friends. Just don't stop being who you are, and your future will be anything but lonely. I promise.
You'll spend most of your time listening to or reading conversations, some of which may even seem irrelevant, redundant, and superfluous. And this is a part of the reason I say this game had personal value to its creator. Of this I'm not sure, but I do get this feeling. To the point that I saw the credits roll, I was expecting to see it stated somewhere that this was based on a true story. Actually, I didn't ask, but I still feel it may have been inspired by real-life events. If not, then hats off to the devs for their active imaginations.
She has so much to live for, so much. Please, she's just an innocent little girl.
This is obviously all subjective, but some of the messages I got from this were along the lines of how greatly depression and anxiety can affect one's life. What it feels like to finally have all you have dreamed and worked for, but somehow still feel empty. How to navigate between your goals and the maintenance of a healthy family life. Melancholy. Critical decision-making where the outcome may or may not break lifelong relationships. Terminal illness, loss on both smaller and larger scales. Sacrifice, the afterlife, hidden skeletons, suicide, guilt, forgiveness, and empathy.
What the hell's that? Luke! He's blocking the access to the core. I can try and get to it, but I doubt I'll be strong enough.
If given a chance, as this game has slow burn written all over it, the story will open up. The pace of the game will change slightly, and if you're into stories of a more adult nature, nothing graphic, but disturbing in its own right, then you'll find something to appreciate or even love here. As to how real and delicate the subject matter here is, I'm sure many adults will relate in one way or the other.
Oh, my head. What was that? Fuck. There was something written on the lake.
You only need to have a closely knit family. Kids, a wife, a husband. Maybe like most of us, you've lost someone close. If it's even the family pet, there's something here that most can relate to. And that gives this organic feeling story a thumbs up right away.
Why aren't you at your own party? If you don't mind me asking.
I needed to get away for a while, you know?
Based on the nature of this one, I won't go into too much details, as if I spoil the story for you too much here, there won't be much else in the way of reasons to play this.
I didn't intend to do it. I love her. I love her so much. It was meant for me. I should have got it and died.
The visuals here are beautiful. Into a Dream employs a silhouette art style, mixed with a beautiful blend of colors when needed. So while there are no details on the characters on screen, the blend of the characters and environments delivers a contrast which can only be described as breathtaking. The character's animations are questionable though. He seems very robotic, almost like what I would expect if a mannequin came to life. When he runs, walks, jumps, or falls, it seems like his head never moves. This leads to very awkward and unnatural looking movements. There were also a few times, more than I would have liked, where I experienced these glitches. But, for most part, the audio, visuals, and story worked well together to create the feel I believe Into a Dream was going for. There isn't much in the way of gameplay here. Into a Dream, as stated earlier, is a narrative-driven experience. This, however, does not mean it's on the level of, let's say, a graphic novel. There are gameplay elements. Gameplay simply isn't the driving factor. As you make your way through Luke's dreams, you'll meet upon a few light but odd puzzles. I say odd because, although these puzzles are pretty much logic-based, some of them are so vague, they left me asking myself, did you really expect me to figure that out? But I did.
This cable goes there. All right, all set. Let there be light. Wow, that is strong. It blinded me for a moment there.
This goes back to what I said earlier. This game was created with a narrative in mind, more emphasis on relaying a message or messages than a focus on intuitive gameplay and such. With all this said though, I still stand by these puzzles being light. Should you find any difficulty in figuring a couple out, you'll pass through it in just a few more minutes, if you think and stick it out. You may have to grab a stick to use as lure for getting a stuck dog free. You may need to move some pictures around, but none of these will have you scratching your noggin for too long.
Stop! You've been found!
There was this one very annoying level where the devs decided to include some stealth mechanics. I could have done without these levels altogether, but like I said, a few minutes spent and you will prevail.
We can't be misled, Luke. You fought far too many people. But you can't have full sickness, nor health.
So what we have here is a game where the narrative is king. It's slightly compromised by the voice acting, but still holds its ground as a story worth experiencing with its very real tone and sensitive subject matter. I applaud the devs for this creation, and I look forward to even more refined releases from them in the future. I recommend this title to anyone who enjoys a deep, thought-provoking story, persons who enjoy titles like Lydia, Distraint, and such games that hit you with a "this could happen to me" vibe.
No, he's not dead. Listen, you can hear his heartbeat.
AAA games are all well and good, but many times, if you'd like a truly unique experience, one off the beaten path, then the indie scene is where you want to be. Show your support for independent game developers. Most if not all indie games are priced relatively low, some are even free with the option to donate, so there's really no reason to pass. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If I pissed you off, then we all know where to find the various hate buttons, don't we? Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.
Goodbye, John. And thank you again for dropping by.